All right, let's play with a fun idea. It's one of those classic what-ifs that sounds like an absolute dream come true. But stick with me because it reveals a surprising truth about how our entire world actually functions.
I mean, really think about it. What if you could just walk out into your backyard, right now, and, I don't know, just pluck a handful of cash right off a branch, like picking an apple? The first thought is, wow, right? A world with zero financial stress. Poof! Poverty is gone, just like that. Everyone's rich. It really does sound like a perfect paradise.
So let's call this phase one, the dream of abundance. You know, that perfect, utopian world we all imagine. But, as we're about to find out, that's not quite the whole story.
Okay, so let's hit the pause button on that fantasy for a second. If we actually think about it, even with just a little bit of basic economics, what would really happen? What happens when cash is as common as leaves on the ground?
And this is exactly where that beautiful dream starts to completely unravel. Part 2, when money becomes worthless.
So the first big problem that rears its ugly head is something called inflation. And the logic here is actually super simple. Money only has value because it's scarce, right? It's limited. The second you take away that scarcity, you pretty much take away all it's worth.
I mean, it's a basic rule of, well, everything, not just economics. If you can get something anywhere, anytime for free, it just isn't valuable anymore. It's not special.
Here's a simple way to think about it. Gold versus air. Now, we absolutely need air to live, right? It's the most essential thing there is, but it's everywhere, it's abundant, so it's free. Gold, on the other hand, it's pretty useless for survival, but it's super rare, and that scarcity is what makes it so valuable. So how does this play out in your daily life? Well, think about your morning coffee. If the barista knows you can just go outside and pick a few thousand rupees off a bush, why on earth would they sell you a coffee for 50? Suddenly, that same cup might cost 5,000 rupees, or maybe even 50,000.
And here's the crazy part, the real irony of it all. You'd have pockets stuffed with cash. You'd be a millionaire technically, but you wouldn't be able to buy anything with it. Your money would be worthless. You'd have more money, but you could buy way, way less.
Okay, so money is useless. That's bad enough. But believe it or not, the problems go even deeper than that. This is where we see how that beautiful dream would literally bring society to a grinding halt.
And here's the next big domino to fall. It's a simple question, but it's a huge one. If money is free, why would anyone work? I mean, seriously, why would you get up in the morning to do a tough job if you didn't have to? And the answer to that question has some pretty scary consequences. Think about it. Who's going to grow our food? Who's going to build our houses? Who's going to run our hospitals and keep the lights on? Suddenly, everything we depend on just stops.
And that's the real lesson here. A society isn't built on money. It's built on people. It's built on work, on skills, on actual productivity. All of this kind of forces us to ask a much bigger question, doesn't it? If money isn't wealth, then what is? You know, it's easy to mix them up, but money and wealth are two totally different things. See, money is just a tool. It's a system we made up to make trading easier. Real wealth? That's the actual stuff, the things we truly value.
Real wealth is food on the table, a safe place to live. It's the skill of a doctor, the knowledge of a teacher. It's big ideas, new inventions. It's the time and effort people put in to create everything we see around us. That's real wealth.
And this all leads us to our final and maybe most important takeaway. Let's call it the value of creation.
So if there's just one thing to remember from all this, it's this. Money doesn't create value. People do. Money is just a symbol, a stand-in. The real value comes from human effort, from our ideas, from our skills.
The source material for this explainer puts it perfectly, saying, if money grew on trees, it wouldn't make us richer. It would just remind us that value comes from what we create, not what we print. I mean, that really hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It's a powerful way to think about where true worth comes from.
It's a pretty wild thought experiment, but it's a fascinating way to understand the very basics of our economy.